Hello, creatives, freelancers, and solopreneurs. Welcome to Coaching for Creatives. I'm McKay. I am the founder of Business of Creativity. Today, I want to have a conversation with you about your results. I want to look at how results are generated and achieved in your freelancing business, and what are the roles of our own thoughts and beliefs. What kind of role do they play in getting measurable, tangible results in your freelance business? That's our conversation today. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What kinds of things do you think make the biggest difference in getting results in your freelance business? When I'm talking about results, one of the reasons why I talk about that is that it can be a very big difference for people between having a hobby or pastime or something that they like to do for their own creative self-expression and having an actual business. A lot of times we declare that the line between those is generating revenue and having clients. If you don't have clients and you don't have revenue, you probably don't have a business. That's the one piece of the equation that we usually look to is clients and sales and revenue and marketing success and followers and likes. There's so many different tangible metrics that we use in our business to measure our results. For many of us over the last little while, we're not necessarily getting the kinds of results that we'd hope for or that we would expect or want to have in our businesses or even in our lives. What do you do when you're not getting the results that you want? How do you start to shift or change the kinds of results that you get in your business? Most of us go first to things like our tactics. What are the hashtags are we using? What is the copy? What is the call to action? Are we showing up consistently? We look to see what are the actions we're taking in our business what can we change? What can we shift? Or maybe the strategy or the plan around it. Very rarely do we actually pause to consider that it might be our thinking or our beliefs that are impacting our results. Today, I want to share with you some of the core beliefs that I have about how the world works and how we, in general, get results in life or in business. I'm going to share my screen with you because I have a little visual to help us walk through this, because it can be philosophical for a lot of people who haven't considered the power of mindset, feeling, beliefs, and emotions on the results that you get, those real tangible results in your business. Looking here, one of the ways to see what kind of influence your feelings, thoughts, emotions, and beliefs might have is look at the results that you currently have in one area of your business. Maybe it's your revenue, maybe it's your savings, and you think about, okay, how much money do you really have in the bank? That's a specific, measurable, tangible result to look at, money in the bank. Now, whatever amount of money you have in the bank is a direct result of the actions that you took. Whatever results you have are because of actions you took or you didn't take. You either put the money in the bank or you spent it. You either earned the money and put it in the bank, or you earned the money and didn't put it in the bank. If it's in the bank, it got there because you took the action to put it there. What caused you to put it there were your thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and emotions. When we look at the current results we have, we can look back on, oh, that was an action I took or didn't take. And I took that action because I believed that saving money for a rainy day is important. I believe that paying my bills first before I save my money is important. Those two different beliefs would cause two very different actions, which would create two very different results in terms of money in a bank account. Hopefully you're starting to see that when we can manage the thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and emotions, when we can be more mindful of these, when we can live our life by design instead of just defaulting to whatever is there for us, when we can be more intentional about that, we can influence the kinds of actions we take. We can take more meaningful action. We can take actions in line with our goals, our aspirations, and our dreams. And when we take meaningful action, we're much more likely to get the kind of life and results that we are all aspiring to. That mythical outcome of being able to make a living and have a life doing work that we love. Today, I have really practical, tactical things that you can do, actions you can take to be able to implement this mindset management. One of the things that I subscribe to as the pillar of being able to shift our mindset is believability. Because gang, if you don't believe it, if you don't actually believe the messaging that you're telling yourself, the affirmations that you're repeating to yourself, the mantras that you're repeating to yourself, if you don't actually believe them and feel them, it's not likely that you're going to take the action associated with them. For example, if your belief is, I need to pay my bills, that's an obligation, I have a commitment, I want to stay in integrity with the people that I owe money to, I don't like carrying debt, I dislike it, it feels uncomfortable. These are all the thoughts and feelings and belief. When you get revenue, your first action is going to be to pay your bills, to pay off your debt. Now, you can tell yourself over and over again, oh, saving is much better. I should save first. Saving is my first priority. But if you don't believe it in your heart, if you don't believe it, truly believe it, then you haven't actually shifted the belief. In fact, most of the time when I see people practicing affirmations or mantras that they haven't done the work to anchor into a feeling or belief, their negative self-talk actually gets louder, and all of the reasons to not do this transformed thinking gets louder and stronger. In fact, creates the opposite intention. Today, we're not going to do affirmations. We're not going to do mantras. What we are going to do is something called progressive statements. And progressive statements are the number one way that I know to transform any current belief obstacles, anything that is not resulting in the tangible, measurable outcomes that you want for your business. Here is exactly how to do it. The first step is to actually be self-observant and self-aware, to consider what are those current belief obstacles that you have. What is the belief underneath that's driving the actions you're taking and the results that you're getting or you're not getting? Some of them might be like, running a business is too difficult. I'm too creative to be a good business. Nobody's spending any money on XYZ, whatever your particular service is. It's either feast or famine. I'll never get steady work. I'll never be good at saving money, pricing my services, marketing myself. These are all beliefs that could potentially be holding you back. I encourage you, just even write one of these down, but write it, if you can, write your current beliefs in your own words. The more clarity that you can bring to this exercise in terms of what actually matters to you and what you are currently believing, the more transformation you're going to experience when you do steps 2 and 3. And again, if you don't know what your thoughts or beliefs are, look at your current results, look to see the actions you took or you didn't take, and then consider what motivated you to take that action. What did you have to believe or feel in order to take that action? Then, once you've written down and identified that belief, the next step is to write it down. We have to get some of these things out of our head so that we can see them a little bit more objectively, and we can begin the process of practicing the mastery of change. Once you write down your belief, here's the key, gang. Here's what makes this different than affirmations and mantras, is that we don't just invert the belief and try to like bully our way into thinking the opposite. We recognize that changing beliefs and patterns is a practice. We write down the new belief with a progressive statement, something like, I'm in the process of learning how to market myself more consistently. I'm making progress with understanding how hashtags can help me with my business. In the past, up until now, I always spent 100% of revenue on bills before putting it into the bank. These little progressive statements start to gradually open up the possibility of shifting the beliefs. When we start shifting the beliefs, we can start taking different actions. When we start taking different actions, we start getting different results. Write it down, your current belief, rewrite it using your progressive statements. The final key to success here, gang, is to share and practice using your progressive statements. Practice saying them out loud. Practice catching yourself thinking the old thoughts, the default thoughts, and start designing your life. Start designing the kinds of thinking and beliefs that are going to lead to the actions that you need to take in order to get the results that you want to have in your creative service-based freelance business. I know that was a big download of information and kind of worldview for you. I love to have a conversation about this. I love talking about mindset and how our own thinking can drive or create our lives. Please, if you have any questions about this, please hit me up in the comments, direct message me, or book a free call for me. I'm always there for you guys. I do have a progressive statements workbook. So click the link in the description below or visit businessofcreativity.ca/resources and check out the progressive statements workbook there. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm curious to see if there's anybody who practices this or who is willing to try it on. Let me know how it feels. Let me know whether this gives you any access to starting to make the changes in the kinds of actions and results that you want for yourself in your creative freelance business. Thanks so much for joining me live. I'm McKay. This is Coaching for Creatives, and I will see you here next week.